presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Before we start our show with the DAX, I would like to, make a little announcement. We had that little bit of a charity thing going for the Gospel Rescue Mission. I took the money in yesterday, and folks, let me tell you, this was a really moving experience. I go down there. It's in the south part of Tucson, which isn't the nicer part of Tucson, but you walk in, and they were having a prayer group. And then there were people there washing floors. They had a little daycare center there for the kids. There must have been about 50 or 60 people there. I dropped off the check. I dropped off some socks. One of my old friends from Drexel donated 100 pair of socks, and they were very, very happy. And the guy told me, he said, this really helps because donations have been really down this year. He didn't know why. He said probably because of competing charities, but he said this would really help. But I saw a sign there, and it said, no sandwiches today, sorry. So I asked the guy, I said, what's this about? He said, well, we usually have sandwiches here, for people that are hungry that just come by to get something to eat. And I said, what do you usually have? He said, well, we usually have 50 sandwiches, but, we didn't have any money for sandwiches. And I said, what do you have? And he said, well, we usually have peanut butter and jelly and bologna. He said, that's what we usually have. And so I couldn't take any more of that. So I went over to Fry's, and I picked up 4 loaves of bread and some bologna and some peanut butter and some jelly and took it over to him and stuff. Folks, if you really want to have a nice Christmas, just go look around at what's going on in your neighborhood. I know a lot of you guys live in some nice neighborhoods, especially those of you in South Florida, but look around and see what's happened. There's a lot of people that have a whole lot less than ours. This really was a pretty emotional day. When I got back in the car, I was thinking when my sister and I were really little, and my sister was never bad, but I was a lot. My mom would take us over to the west side of Terre Haute to a little place over there called Taylorsville, which is on the west side of the Wabash River, where the people live in Quonset huts, these little paper cardboard houses and stuff, and that's where they live. There must be 500-600 of them there. And I talked to Norm Winsky this morning, and I talked to my sister this morning. That place is still there, believe it or not. After all these years, that's 70 years ago, and it's still there, but they're trying to clean it up. But anyway, do something nice for somebody. My kids, when they reached the age of 10, we took them down to the Gospel Rescue Mission in Los Angeles once for Christmas. It was actually for Thanksgiving to help feed the folks, and they got They really enjoyed it very much. And from that time on, they never did want much presents. They always wanted to give their, the presents away. The little kids got them, of course, but the kids never really did that. So, try to help. This is the spirit of Christmas. I'm going to get off my soapbox now and talk all about the DAX because we are going up, up, up and away. Hopefully we can get some of these poor people to invest in some Bitcoin and make them rich. That would be a good idea, don't you think? Okay, let's see what's happening here today. We've got the DAX getting very close to the ABCD pattern up here. Well, it's probably getting close. We're only about 80 points away. We should make it very, very closely today. Now, Norm Winsky mentioned to me this morning that we're coming into the square of 52, going back to the high of October of 2011. No, let's try 2007. That means that the number of square days, I probably ought to post that into the room so you guys can see what he's talking about. That's some GAN stuff that I frankly didn't do a lot of stuff in GAN because 20man did all that stuff. And it's really, sometimes it works really good. And here it is. I'll put this in here to the room so you can see, what Norm is talking about here. So that if it doesn't work, you can blame Norm. Anyway, he said that happens today. Remember, we had the We had the new moon coming in yesterday, and here we are 1 day away. Whether that was a high or not, remains to be seen, but we're having a great deal of volatility no matter what. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is the fact that there is a lot of things going on. Let's do the FTSE next before we get off to this. I was hoping to have Rich Anderson on today, but unfortunately he is swamped this morning, and we were going to be able to see move this over. There we go. You can see that we're almost at a double top here in the FTSE here. It's not very far away, about 50 points. It could very easily make that. But remember, this has a much longer downturn in this market. This is not anywhere near new highs, so has been a little bit waiting to see what's going on. Yes, tomorrow winter arrives. Russ, you're absolutely true. We have the first day. Actually, the winter solstice starts on the 21st when the sun enters Capricorn. That's actually the 21st is when winter actually starts. So let's pay. The seasons are very, very important, especially for foreign currencies and the grains. And I believe the grains have a real strong probability here of having a move sometime right after the first of the year. Yesterday, we made a 61% retracement in January soybeans, and the soybean oil is still holding up relatively well. That was one of the things that we were going to discuss today with Rich Anderson, because I will do that right now, because I think we can do that within a couple minutes and get this out of the way, and then we'll get some of the other things. What I'm going to show you here, folks, is a spread between the January and March, I believe it is. Yeah, it's January and March spread. In other words, the price of January oil is going up faster than the price of March soybean oil. And what this means is that there's a demand for spot soybean oil. That's usually a very positive sign, especially when you're coming into the time frame of what we're looking at now. Back in 1975, this was the trade that turned me around after I had lost all the money. It was the very first trade that I did. After I lost all the money, I got everybody in that spread at basically zero. That was down at that bottom there, and that spread made 18 times its money. It wasn't any Bitcoin, but you only had to put up 140 bucks at that time, because the spread was it was out at full carrying charges, and interest rates were really high, and so it was a very easy trade to put on. But that is what's starting now in soybean oil. Whether it's going to continue or not, I don't know, but we'll watch it closely, because we are making some type of a bottom here in some of these grains, especially the wheat, which has already made a pretty good bottom, and corn, which is very, very close. But we still want to wait for pattern completion in some of these, and then we'll be able to see what to see what's going on, with these other things. When we come back, I want to talk about one of these Bitcoin wannabes that came out just a few days ago, just to show you the craziness that is going on in some of these things, because it is flat out crazy. So let's take a little break here to pay a few bills. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, folks, we're in the den here at Tiger TV, and some of the folks were chatting about Johnny Carson and stuff. Folks, the funniest thing I have ever seen on TV was New Year's Eve. Oh, I think it was 1963 or 1964. Johnny Carson had Ed Ames on, the opera singer who played Mingo in the Daniel Boone series with Fess Parker. And he was a great singer, and he had just come from the Met. And he was dressed up in his Tex and everything, and he played the sidekick of Daniel Boone. And Johnny Carson opened up this box, and it had a tomahawk in it. And he said, "Let's see how good you are." And he brought up this statue, this little mannequin of a cowboy, and he said, "Let's see how good you are with this tomahawk." So Ed Ames picked it out of the box and threw it, and he hit the cowboy right in a very, very sensitive spot, and the tomahawk was, people laughed for 45 minutes. That was the whole show. If you ever get a chance to see that again, it was there were a lot of funny things with Johnny Carson, but that to me was the funniest thing I have ever seen. Every year I still watch it because it is still, all you have to do is go on and Google it. I mean, you'll be able to find it. Just put Ed Ames, Johnny Carson, New Year's Eve, and you'll get it, I'm sure. But it was funny, believe me. All right, speaking of funny, let's look at one here. This is a stock that was featured on CNBC yesterday. It's one of the stocks. This is called Logfin, and they had the CEO on there. This stock went from 5 on December the 1st to 140 in how many days? 3 days. From 5 to 140, and now it's trading at 60. It made a 61% retracement off of that move. The CEO was on saying that the stock was incredibly overvalued. He said that I can't even make any money off of it. He says, because I can't sell it for 3 years. But what they did was they bought a blockchain company. And what happened was they sent a little memo out saying, well, we're moving from, I forget what it was, to a blockchain technology, and look what happened. You can see the emotionalism that's tied up in some of these things. The $64 question is this 1996 or is this 2000? We don't know the answer to that, but we'll probably find out. If you'll remember, just a little while ago, we were looking at, Bitcoin. Let's put this up to see where we were here, because This is very, very close. And you'll see this is what the price that we were looking at here. If I can get it up here to show you. This is from our good friend across the pond who does a lot of trading in this. And you can see that from the 4th of December, when we were trading at 10,400, we've now reached that almost that 20,000 level. And it's very interesting. Look how the highs were made at points BD and where we were yesterday. Those highs were, very, very symmetrical. So we're due for a nice correction. And if we look at the last correction that we made in Bitcoin, it's going to drop about $4,000. So 19,000 down to 4,000 would take you right around 16,000, and that would be the old high at point B. The reason why I'm telling you this, folks, is that, we're trading at two major exchanges now, the CBOE and the CME. So pay attention to it. This might be, something that is really going to be very, very important. But the key here is look how it follows the patterns and the ratios. I mean, it's just really, it's really very, very technical, and it should be because you got a lot of people trading it. That's the bottom line of, what we're looking at. Okay, now the next thing we want to talk about, we've got a market here that we've been bearish on for quite some time that is finally starting to break down quite a bit. Let's get this chart for the soybean. Let's try it again for the Treasury bonds up here. We'll get it up here for a minute. We were looking for bonds to possibly rally up to that 155 level. We only got to 154.24, and now we've broken down badly. I guess it was the the question is, where do I trade? I don't trade Bitcoin at all. No, what I'm doing is I'm following John Jameson and what he's doing. To me, for two reasons. One is I want to get more information about it, and I know why. I just don't know enough about it other than the charts, and the reason why the volume is a little bit higher on the CBOE versus the CMEs because it came out first, and the value of them are a little bit different. They're both based on cash settlements. So that's the main thing that I see. But all I'm doing is I'm bringing it to your attention here because this could be something that would be really good. Folks, in 1972, when we first started trading gold, people could understand owning gold. They could understand that. They could understand if you bought a contract, it was trading at about 100 and, oh my God, I don't remember, 106 or something like 120. I forget like that, wherever it was back then. And people could understand if you bought 100 ounces of gold and took delivery on it, you would get 100 ounces of gold. So you had about about $100,000. It was about 200 ounces. Whatever it was. Let me see, 100 ounces would be about 12,500, I guess. So that's they could understand that. With Bitcoin, it's a lot different because it's a new technology, and they don't know what's happening. And so what I do is I listen to what John Jameson, who is in UK. I've known him for 15 years. He was my student way back then, and we've become very good friends. He's been over here to see me several times. I've been over there to see him, and he's a really smart dude. His specialty, of course, was internet. That's what he studied in school back in the late 80s, and he was in at the beginning. And Mr. Peak asked me, why did you never got into Bitcoin? I ain't smart enough, Bubba. I didn't know enough about it. I know some people that did. I actually know 3 people that actually have bought Bitcoin, and some of them bought it pretty early. One about 4 years ago, and one even earlier than that. I had lunch with a gentleman last year in the UK in May that put $200 into Bitcoin back in 2011, and that's made a great deal of money. But the others have bought it under $500 a share, but it is different. The only reason I'm bringing it in here to tell you about it is because they do follow the chart patterns extremely well, and the reason that they do is that there's the public is involved, and when you have the public involved, you're going to see chart patterns that repeat over and over again because all these charts are just showing fear and greed, with the exception of one thing. Stock market indices, they don't show anything but greed. No fear on the horizon. But anyway, that's what we're watching. The bonds and notes. The notes have been incredibly bearish. This is a chart that I focused on the newsletter this past week, and I mentioned that we had this really nice butterfly pattern down here, and that it was just not rallying at all. I said, short rates really look like they want to go a lot higher. And then today, you'd be looking at how much would $200 be worth today? Somewhere in the neighborhood of about too large, as near as I can tell. That's what John told me, that it would be pretty close to 2 million. But remember, back in those days, he could have bought it at $10 a share or $1 a share. If he bought it $1 a share, you're looking at 20 large. So I think anybody that put $200 in it and made 20 large ought to take a couple million out just to have some fun. But a lot of people are not that way. Who knows? We'll see. This is very unusual we're seeing here. This is history, so we ought to watch it. Those that don't read history are bound to repeat it. I think that was Napoleon Bonaparte, the famous Italian dude who lost to London. Okay, that's it. 877-927-664. We'll be right back.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, I've been asked by one of our listeners here at the Den to put that chart of from Bank of America about bubbles and stuff like that, and basically it shows the time frame going anywhere from the start all the way out to 7 years, And you can see what's happened with Bitcoin. The problem with Bitcoin, well, it's not a problem, but Bitcoin, they're showing Bitcoin between 15 and 17. Well, it's been trading since 2010 or 2011. So, it's already into that 7-year time frame. So that could possibly, be pretty good here. But it shows these other bubbles that are here. And, some of these were amazing. Look at the dot-com bubble in the NASDAQ. I mean, it's way down there where the blue and the red meet together. And believe me, that was a once in a generation thing of what we were looking at. So I don't know whether this is a bubble or not. Remember, if there were 2,000 automobiles back in 1929, we're down to, what, 3 now or less. We got General Motors. Well, Chrysler's a German company now, or Italian, and then Ford. So there's not many of those left. Well, Tesla. Anyway, the markets like this usually end badly. But, Bitcoin could go from, it got to 19,000 and change. It could go down to 1,000 and still be very, very profitable, or even 500. Well, all I'm saying is let's watch the chart and see if it gives us a couple of chances to enter when it gets more liquid and stuff. I can't do it the way that they're doing it now on the internet, because you've got to do so much just to buy the Bitcoin. You've got to go in and you've got to be able to, to see whether it's going to be you've got to convert it to coin stamp and then back to Bitcoin, and then you buy the Bitcoin and you got to put it in a wallet. I mean, it's not an easy task, especially someone that's, not tech savvy, like myself. I've had it explained to me 5 times and I still don't understand it. So that's the main thing to keep in mind. But we do want to follow it because there's probably going to be some great opportunities here. And maybe there's going to be some on the short side. Right now, if you had to put a gun to my head, I would have been selling that Bitcoin up around that 19,000 level, because it completed the 3 ABCD patterns, and that's about it. I'm unable to have Rich on the show today because he is just swamped. And it's very unusual for him to be swamped during this time of the year, but I believe that he has a couple of his big customers that are short the notes and bonds. Oh, maybe he's going to be on. Let's get him on if we can. That would be great. He might be finished. Let's see if we can get Rich on. That would really be super, super, super. Let me know if you get him on. That would be great, and I will we'll talk to him, because we've got some really interesting things happening in the grain markets. I think right after the first of the year, and he follows the weather a great deal too. So we'll get him on here in just a second to get some ideas, and of course we'll have him on right after the first of the year. So that's another one that we want to be watching. So we'll keep an eye on that as we get ready to talk to him. These bonds, they've broken down. There's going to be some support around the old low at 152. So keep an eye on that. Very emotional today because of the housing starts, the best in 10 years. And of course, the news follows a trend, and that's what usually happens. But those notes have been in trouble for quite some time, and it doesn't look like that's going to change it. Yes, there's another one, Tucker. Riot is basically even John Jameson thinks that one is a little bit of skeptical veracity. So I don't know too much about it. All I know is they bought a company that evidently had a blockchain, and that's what it did. If you ever see one of these things come out that's scam, that'll probably be the top of the market. So Riot is probably another one. Yes, Terry, there are usually good relationships between fertilizer stocks. We could ask Rich that if we get him on the line, because potash, of course, is used in a lot of this stuff, and that would be a really interesting one, to chat about. But they're like most other stocks. Heck, the rising water lifts all tides. So most of these stocks are going higher. Look at stocks that are not going up in these markets, like General Electric and some of these other. These are the ones that are going to be in trouble if the market ever does turn down. So that's the thing. The old adage from, Jesse Livermore's book is you always want to buy the strongest and sell the weakest. That's the the main thing that you really want to try to do. So, keep a close eye on that. Since we've got a second here, just a second. He's getting his. Hold on a second. We're going to try to get Rich on. Let me bring this up to you for just a second, folks, because we're at a real critical level here in a couple things. And oh dear, where did I put that chart? Don't tell me I took it out. Oh, no. Oh, here it is. I got it right here. Hold on. This is a gold chart, folks. I want to bring this up to you, and I want to give you a little bit of perspective on this gold. We bottomed down here on the day after Norm's big day, the 12th. His date was the 11th. And then you'll notice we bottomed there. That was an exact 786 on the weekly chart. And we have rallied $30, almost, 34 would take, well, see, we got to 68. Yeah, we've rallied 68, 30, wow, we have almost $34. $34 is the harmonic number in this. You'll notice that yesterday's low when Mr. Z was in there buying it at 1256, that was a perfect 78% retracement off the December 14th low, and it was a perfect 382 retracement off of the December 12th low, which was very, very important. Now, we backed off a little bit today from that 1268 level. We did go up and make a new high. But folks, what I would like for you to do is to keep an eye on this, because at any time we could get a $17 drop. That's one half of the harmonic number, taking us down to about 1250, from 1268 down to about 1250, 1251. That's a 61% retracement. And we're in the holiday season, so you get a lot of markets that are a little thin at times. We could get there very easily. I'd be looking to buy gold there. I wouldn't risk more than about $8 on it, but that could have very, very positive expectations if you get that, because you're in a shorter term uptrend. You're buying a retracement right at a fib point and also one of the harmonic numbers. So I'd really watch that gold around that 1251 level. That's I got alerts all over the place on that one to keep an eye on. Now, the silver has not acted nearly as well as the gold, but platinum certainly has. We talked about that yesterday. We had a tremendous move in platinum off the bottom, which has continued, which is still good. So we want to watch that. That is, it used to be platinum traded at about a 30%, 40% premium to gold, and now it's trading at about a 35% discount to gold. That's probably due to the fact that everybody's going to be going to cars that don't make any noises, and also some of the ladies are not getting expensive jewelry this Christmas for some reason. I don't know. Oh, they've just told us they've all got Amazon credit cards, so that makes it a really good deal. Okay, if we get Rich on, we'll talk about the cattle here, because we focus on the newsletter for cattle in the just put the cattle. I'll bring the cattle up and we'll take a look at it right now when we get back. 877-927-6648.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Folks, we're going to talk a little bit about cattle right now. As you can see, I posted the chart that come from the newsletter that I send out each week, and that we were looking for a nice rally to happen in cattle, and we've had a pretty good rally, about 4 cents. If you'll see that ABCD Thunderbolt there that is in red, what we did yesterday in cattle was to match that BC swing. We sold off about 1.5 points from that level. That's the level that you really want to pay attention to yesterday, because it equals the last BC swing that we had. So that would be the area where your first profit taking would come in. Now, if we get above this 122 level in the February cattle, you've got a pretty good chance, to go, a great deal higher. Now, I'm going to put the chart for the feeder cattle in here, which is, the baby cows. These are the ones at 400 to 800 pounds. And you'll notice that we hit that 78% retracement. We had a pretty good rally, but we've come down really hard again. We're back to that almost that same level again, which is telling you that this market is acting a whole lot weaker than it really should be looking at. And that's the main thing. And remember, that's what makes these markets do that. Look at the chart that we posted on the Treasury notes, how weak it was. It kept telling you that the short-term rates were really in trouble, and now you're starting to see that trouble unfold. We've got a question here about Apple, and that was downgraded today. I don't know who downgraded that, but that person he's not a typical Wall Street guy, because nobody ever downgrades anything in Wall Street that's going straight up. That almost never happens. Here's the weekly chart of the Apple. We were looking at this 3-drive pattern over the past 7 or 8 months, and we were looking at it up at this 176 area. We did make a new high yesterday by about 20 cents, I believe, and now we're trading about $2 under that because of the downgrade. But this was a really big pattern, and whether this last 3-drive pattern is still valid or not, I'm not quite sure, but it is a very, very valid pattern, in my opinion, in the Apple. Just because we made a new high by a little bit, given the emotionalism that we're seeing in these markets, that it's really not hard to understand this. I mean, when the Dow gaps up 150 points yesterday, hello, go find me a gap bigger than that one, boys and girls. Put that on your Christmas plate and see if you can find it. So we'll keep an eye on these. When this thing does turn down, it's going to give you plenty of chances to get in it, folks. Believe me, it really will. In 2000, it gave you several chances to get short the market with really good Gartley patterns in both the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones and the S&P. Usually it was around the May or June area of 2000 when the really big signal came in, where we had the big ABCD Gartley pattern at a 61% retracement of the old high. And of course, we came down and we continued down until after 9/11. We bottomed in 2002, I believe around March or April of that year. And then since that time, it's been a one-way Corrigan where we've hit almost 25,000 in the Dow, believe it or not. So those are one of the things that we're keeping an eye on. Someone's asked me a question about longer-term notes and bonds. Boys and girls, rates topped a year and a half ago when those bonds got above the 160, and then on the new contract it was 177. So that's telling you that they certainly want to go, a great deal higher in interest rates. And given the fact that we've got the economy moving, really quickly now, the Fed is going to come in and raise rates, but the Fed doesn't raise rates. The market raised the rates. We've already seen market rates raised by looking at T-notes and T-bonds just because of quantitative easing, which I've never understood. The Fed is in fairy tale land. That's the way I see it. But, hey, I'm just a technician. These guys have got all the degrees, and my degree is from the School of Hard Knocks, and I had to go night school just to finish that. So just watch it, because this could be a really, really big surprise. But we've blown out all these things in these other things. Let's take a quick look at the currencies here. This was one of the things that we talked about in the dollar index and the euro. We'll put the euro up first here. We'll see here, was Nomura the one that dropped the rating on Apple? I really like Nomura Security. Yes, I happen to know several big traders in London over there that we were there 2 years ago and spent some time up there in their wonderful cafeteria and met some of the traders. And those guys, they're different. They don't go by the usual Wall Street crowd. Of course, it's Japanese, so we'll see, what's going on. Tomorrow we're going to have Dale Pinkert on, talk a little bit about some foreign currency. He's a fellow I've known for a very long time, lives up in Southern California, up in the mountains there, and he'll be on talking to us tomorrow at about 9:30, and hopefully we'll have Rich Anderson on Thursday. And then, of course, Friday, we're going to have Santa, and 3 of his reindeers are going to be here. Donner, Dixon, and Rudolph will be here chatting with us about the weather markets in the North Pole and how it affects global warming. Take a look at this chart. Oh, I better post it first before we look at it. This is a chart for euro showing the really strong support we had here at this 117.30 level coming in Sunday night. It held exactly at that 78% level and was able to rally. We've rallied over a whole point so far, just in in 2 days. So that's a big thing going on. So that's an important thing, and that's the reason why the dollar index has come down and made the 78% retracement on this next chart that I posted. And so you'll see the level that we're at now is very important to the euro at that 128.40 level, and then also the dollar index at the 93 level, and we're almost there, just a tad lower, and we'll be spot on. So we want to watch that. As long as we stay with that head and shoulders pattern in the dollar index, we should be okay. But that's neither here nor there. That's the number. You're very good, Mr. P. 92.5 is the old low. That's 92.9 is actually the 78% level. So we want to watch that, very, very closely. Also keep an eye on the crude oil complex, because we've made a little bit higher highs than the previous days in heating oil, but the crude oil is lagging badly behind it. That is usually a very bad sign when the leader of the pack, can't lead the pack. So watch it closely. And this is a real strong seasonal time of the year for heating oil, where people are stocking up, but it's not that cold across the east and north as of yet. We've had a few cold days, but it's in the 50s today in New York, and some areas also just in Indiana. We've got into the high 50s today, and the lows are in the high 40s. So there's not a lot of cold weather coming here at Christmas time. So Santa's going to have to come in by helicopter in most places. So we'll see it. By the way, I used to play Santa Claus for all the little kids, and they're all grown up now. And haven't got anybody else to play Santa for. So if you need someone to play Santa, let me know. I got a great rendition of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with all the laughing bells. And I sent in 2 of the elves to do some, charity work. So we'll see what's going on here. We're going to take a little break here pretty soon. And we'll come back. We'll have a little bit review of what the market is doing today at 877-927-6648.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and someone has informed us that Bitcoin has had a little bit of a sell-off. I don't know how much, but they did say that it was selling off. We did have some strong resistance up there at that 19,000 level that we posted in here. We're going to be looking at that just to keep you informed of what's going on. One of the things I wanted to bring to your attention is the fact that where we are here in this Dow Jones on the really long-term weekly chart going back to 1994. Actually, let's correct that. That's a monthly chart. And as you can see that we've completed just about every single pattern that you can look at here, but you can see the strength of that rally from March of 2009. I remember that day very vividly because in the letter I said we're going to see the best short covering rally the stock market has ever seen, and it's far better than the short covering rally, folks. I was wrong on that one, but it's had one heck of a move, so we want to be looking at it. Yes, Bitcoin has come down, looks like about a little more than 1,200, let's see, be 17, yeah, 19.7. So it's come down about 1,800 points. We're looking at possibly a 382 of that last move would take Bitcoin down to about 16,000, which is sort of the old high. So we'll be watching it closely. We're going to be following it. We're not going to be trading it. John Jameson comes out with his new letter right after the first of the year. I highly recommend it because it's about blockchains. It's not just about cryptocurrency, because it's blockchain technology that is doing this. Cryptocurrencies don't really mean that very much. Yes, buyers will come into those gap areas like we're seeing in Apple right now. And with the market, we sold off quite a bit early this morning, which is rather unusual. Whether that high we had on the new moon yesterday is going to hold for very long, we'll have to wait and see. So I would say just keep a look at. Folks, the ones to keep an eye on is that gold market. If we get a good break in that, take a really good hard look at that, because I think gold's going higher. 877-927-6648. May God bless.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks!